Hey everyone, this is Chris O'Hara. I'm just going to be going over in this video the TED speech structure of Miss Jane McGonigal of her speech, Gaming Can Make a Better World. Her introduction was pretty straightforward, just basically an easy name and career style introduction, just introducing herself.
I'm Jane McGonigal. I'm a game designer. I've been making games online now for 10 years.
Her thesis statement was really impactful, if you ask me. It was she wants to try and make saving the world in real life just as easy as it seems to be in virtual reality.
My goal for the next decade is to try to make it as easy to save the world in real life as it is to save the world in online games.
Her preview statement was basically that she wanted to try and convince her peers and other gamers to try and play bigger and better games that would have more of an impact on the way they view life and world problems.
Now, I have a plan for this, and it entails convincing more people, including all of you, to spend more time playing bigger and better games.
She doesn't quite have a spelled out outline with main points, but I would say that her first main point would be that gamers are excellent problem solvers in virtual reality, but feel inadequate while in real life to solve those kind of problems. Her subpoints basically just include all of the reasons why they feel inadequate, such as just not having the same type of recognition or the same ease as it is inside the virtual reality.
But I also mean good as in motivated to do something that matters, inspired to collaborate and to cooperate. When we're in game worlds, I believe that many of us become the best version of ourselves, the most likely to help at a moment's notice, the most likely to stick with a problem as long as it takes, to get up after failure and try again. And in real life, when we face failure, when we confront obstacles, we often don't feel that way. We feel overcome. We feel overwhelmed. We feel anxious, maybe depressed, frustrated, or cynical. We never have those feelings when we're playing games. They just don't exist in games. So that's what I wanted to study when I was a graduate student. What about games makes it impossible to feel that we can't achieve everything? How can we take those feelings from games and apply them to real-world work?
Main point number 2 in this speech would have to be exemplifying and expounding on gamers' ability to solve puzzles and to have that problem-solving ability, including subpoints that go over the many things that gamers are actually good at, which is connectivity with social medias and things of that nature, listing the 4 main groups that really help gamers strive to be great at what they do. Not only that, but give them the ability to perhaps lead us in the future, especially when it comes to changing our world.
So I've started to think about what these games are making us virtuosos at. Here are the 4 things I came up with. The first is urgent optimism. Okay, think of this as extreme self-motivation. Urgent optimism is the desire to act immediately to tackle an obstacle, combined with the belief that we have a reasonable hope of success. Gamers always believe that an epic win is possible and that it's always worth trying, and trying now. Gamers don't sit around. Okay, gamers are virtuosos at weaving a tight social fabric. There's a lot of interesting research that shows that we like people better after we play a game with them, even if they've beaten us badly. And the reason is it takes a lot of trust to play a game with someone. We trust that they will spend their time with us, that they will play by the same rules, value the same goal, they'll stay with the game until it's over. And so playing a game together actually builds up bonds and trust and cooperation, and we actually build stronger social relationships as a result. Blissful productivity. I love it. You know, there's a reason why the average World of Warcraft gamer plays for 22 hours a week, kind of a half-time job. It's because we know when we're playing a game that we're actually happier working hard than we are relaxing or hanging out. We know that we are optimized as human beings to do hard, meaningful work, and gamers are willing to work hard all the time if they're given the right work. Finally, epic meaning. Gamers love to be attached to awe-inspiring missions, to human, planetary scale stories. So
Main point number 3 would be along the lines of something like a solution. The solution that she gives is kind of put in the same way as her preview statement, which is to build games, create games that are able to affect the way we live out our lives. That way that as gamers we'll end up changing our own lifestyles and implementing the right things to do in life, and hopefully that'll impact our everyday lives to the point where as we start raising our children and so on, that we'll be able to start changing the world one step at a time.
Search of a new world. So that's where I get my 21 billion hours a week of gameplay from. Let's get half of us to agree to spend an hour a day playing games until we solve real world problems. Now I know you're asking, how are we going to solve real world problems in games? Well, that's what I have devoted my work to over the past few years at the Institute for the Future. We have this banner in our offices in Palo Alto, and it expresses our view of how we should try to relate to the future. We do not want to try to predict the future. What we want to do is make the future. We want to imagine the best case scenario outcome, and then we want to empower people to make that outcome a reality. We want to imagine epic wins and then give people the means to achieve the epic win.
Her conclusion actually involves some games that she's creating and has already created to implement these ideas that she has. The conclusion helps bring it in with the audience and specifically ask for their involvement in this process that could actually change the world.
This is a game done with the World Bank Institute. If you complete the game, you will be certified by the World Bank Institute as a social innovator, class of 2010, working with universities all over sub-Saharan Africa, and we are inviting them to learn social innovation skills. We've got a graphic novel, we've got leveling up in skills like local insight, knowledge networking, sustainability, vision, and resourcefulness. I would like to invite all of you to please share this game with young people anywhere in the world, particularly in developing areas, who might benefit from coming together to try to start to imagine their own social enterprises to save the world. So I'm going to wrap up now. I want to ask a question. What do you think happens next? We've got all these amazing gamers. We've got these games that are kind of pilots of what we might do, but none of them have saved the real world yet. Well, I hope that you will agree with me that gamers are a human resource that we can use to do real world work, that games are a powerful platform for change. We have all these amazing superpowers, blissful productivity, the ability to weave a tight social fabric, this feeling of urgent optimism and the desire for epic meaning. I really hope that we can come together to play games that matter, to survive on this planet for another century. And that's my hope, that you will join me in making and playing games like this. When I look forward to the next decade, I know two things for sure: that we can make any future we can imagine, and we can play any games we want. So I say, let the world-changing games begin. Thank you.
After watching Jane's speech, I would definitely have to put it under the category of problem-solution type speech. There wasn't a whole lot of breakdown that happened with her outline. The main points were kind of in order, but she did a good job of bouncing around and involving people, reminding them of the problem and the cause of the problem, and then at the end she did definitely do that in the right order and pop in there the solution, along with the conclusion, bringing people together, trying to get them to play these games and to spread them and to be able to try and change the world that way. So that's it for my TED speech structure video on Jane McGonigal's Gaming Can Make a Better World speech. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys learned something, and I hope to apply all the things from the reading subject and everything like that that I've had to go over for this to help benefit me and help me to progress in my speaking abilities. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.